Text number 18, 7:15. Okay, there it is. Okay, this is text number 18 of the 10th canto, chapter 7, the killing of the demon Tirnavatra. Ekaroham arudam lalayanti sutam sati garimanam shisholvodum nasehe girikutava ekadaroham arudam lalayanti sutam sati garimanam shisholvodum nasehe girikutava ekadaroham arudam lalayanti sutam sati garimanam shisholvodum nasehe girikutava. Ekadahamanudam Harayam Salamati Harayam Salamati Ekada, one time estimated to have been when Krishna was 1 year old. Aroham on his mother's lap, Arudam who was sitting, Kalayanti was patting, Sutam her son, Sati Mother Jasoda, Garimanam because of an increase in heaviness, Sisho of the child, Vodum to bear him, Na not, Sehe was able, Girikutavat appearing like the weight of a mountain peak. Translation: one day, a year after Krishna's appearance, Mother Yasoda was petting her son on her lap, but suddenly she felt the child to be heavier than a mountain peak, and she could no longer bear his weight. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Lalayanti, sometimes a mother lifts the child, and when the child falls in her hands, the child laughs, and the mother also enjoys the pleasure. Yasoda used to do this, but this time Krishna became very heavy, and she could not bear his weight. Under the circumstances, it is to be understood that Krishna was aware of the coming of Tirnavartasura, who would take him far away from his mother. Krishna knew that when Tirnavarta came and took him away from his mother's lap, Mother Yasoda would be greatly bereaved. He did not want his mother to suffer any difficulty from the demon. Therefore, because he is the source of everything, Janmadi Asya Yataha, he assumed the heaviness of the entire universe. The child was on the lap of Yasoda, who was therefore in a position of everything in the world, but when the child assumed such heaviness, she had to put him down in order to give Tirnavrata an opportunity to take him away and play with him for some time before the child returned to the lap of his mother. Om Jnanati Mirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurumitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So I thank you for allowing me to meet you again. When I came here, I thought I'll be here for 1 week, but I've been here for 1 month. By some arrangement, the flights were not available, but now I've got the flights, so in a few days I will be out back to Nairobi. But it has been an experience to being with you, a learning experience, because we don't have so many wonderful devotees like you. Where I come from, it's very rare to get so many brahmacharis. Very nice to be here, it's very enlivening. So just as I explained the last time that when we read Bhagavatam, so many statements can be quite daunting to comprehend. But according to the great teachers, there are just 3 categories into which something that we are learning or hearing about fits into. That is knowledge, we gain knowledge, and also skills, which means we get points that are applicable to our lives. Like in teachers' training, they call it experiential learning. You learn through experience. And then the third thing that we gain is we get to know about, it's called values, what is important. So I remember when I was a young devotee, I got Bhagavatam when I was 6 months as a bhakta in the temple. I was just reading it like a newspaper, just going through it. I want to finish Bhagavatam. So then after a few years, after going through Bhakti by Bhava, And then I realized, I was just, in a marathon of just finishing Bhagavatam. So I didn't understand many things. So whatever was a little bit difficult to understand, I would just skip it. You just browse through the 5th canto. And then whatever appealed, and then you concentrate on that. So in a similar way, this part of Bhagavatam can be like that. You just browse through. But there are so many points also to learn from each and every page of Srimad Bhagavatam. Why is that? Because Srimad Bhagavatam is, according to acharyas like Sukadeva Goswami, is the answer to all questions about life. That is explained in the second canto in chapter 10. The Sukadeva Goswami says, to prove that Srimad Bhagavatam has all the answers about life, he makes these statements in text number 1 of the 10th chapter of the 2nd canto. Atra sargo vishagas cha. And then he says that in the beginning there is visharga, the first creation. That's the creation of the senses, the ingredients like earth, water, fire, air, as well as the different senses. That is visharga. And then visharga means the secondary creation. That is going on due to the interactions of the 3 modes of nature. That is the creation of Lord Brahma. Stanam Pushanam Cha. And then there is the explanation about the planetary systems, as well as the maintenance of the planetary systems. Manvantara Isha Anukata. Manvantara means the Manvantaris, different kings like Manu, Swayambhuva Manu, and many others. We get to hear about them also. And then Isha Anukata means the science about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he further says, Nirodho, Muktir Ashraya. So, Muktir means liberation. We get to hear about liberation. Nirodho refers to the process of going back home, back to Godhead. And then we get to hear about Ashraya, which of course Prabhupada translates as the Summum Bonum. This is a Latin word. Summum Bonum was coined by a Roman statesman, Cicero, which means the ultimate good or absolute good. Summum Bonum. So Prabhupada uses these words. But Ashraya, you say, it will mean shelter, isn't it? In Hindi and Sanskrit. I'm not a Hindi walla. You can correct me if I'm wrong. So it will mean shelter. Yes. So that shelter is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. So Sukadeva Goswami explains that Srimad Bhagavatam is the answer to all our questions. Or in other words, any subject, any form of knowledge is there in the Srimad Bhagavatam. When you study carefully, you'll realize actually he is right. So now when we're coming to this chapter, we are reading about the Ashraya, or the shelter, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's the beginning. So it begins by giving us what is called Nimitika Lila. Nimitika Lila means occasional pastimes, when the Lord is killing the demons. And then there is Ashta Kaliya Lila, the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Why this Nimitika Lila is coming first? Because just like in the field, before you plant sabji, you have to dig all the weeds and prepare the ground. Or when you do yagya, people before used to do yagyas outside, they would clear. They would plow the land, take out all the stones and the weeds so that the yagya can be successful. So in a similar way, here, these demons are like the weeds on the path of Bhakti. So Lord Krishna performed these pastimes to clear all the demons, and then after that, he performed his pastimes with devotees. So that is what we call value in this chapter. What is important is that the Lord is performing these leelas to clear anarthas, apparatus, which are represented by demons. Sometimes we feel like that. Huh? When we are very angry, we feel like Dhenukasura. Huh? Your eyes become red. Your body starts trembling. Your lips, you feel like Bakasura, isn't it? Because at that moment, you are not in your normal state of consciousness. Your mind has been hijacked by the qualities of Bakasura, Dhenukasura, isn't it? Yes. So that's why it is important in any path of devotion to control these qualities and then increase qualities like tolerance, perseverance. Otherwise, it's difficult. So these demons, they don't tolerate anything. They are just angry. They will destroy even the entire universe. We see in the pastimes of Ravana and many others. So they represent these qualities. Vijita Sadguna, Mahaprabhu says, Vijita Sadguna. And he explains that in the Madhya Lila, chapter 22 or so. He says, Kriparu akrita doha satasara sama nidosha vadanya mirdu akenchina. Mirdu means mild. The devotee is mild. Akenchina means is fixed. Sarvopakaraka Krishnaika Sharana. Because he is fully surrendered to Krishna, he performs welfare work for all. Vijita Sadguna, he controls the 6 bad qualities like anger, greed, lust, madness, and envy. So Mahaprabhu also explains this. Because these qualities are the qualities that are exhibited by the demons. That's why this chapter is very, very important. How these demons, they are coming and making plans to found Krishna and destroy him. That's it. That was the mission of all these demons that are explained in this chapter. So in that way, Sukadeva Goswami says that in the same chapter, chapter 10 of the second canto,
in verse number 2, he explains that therefore in the Bhagavatam, the transcendence of the summum bonum, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or you could say Bhagavan in Hindi. Prabhupada says summum bonum, but you could say Bhagavan. So Bhagavan's spiritual potency or qualities are explained in the Bhagavatam indirectly, sometimes directly. Yes, sometimes they are given as the summary by different sages. This is what Sukadeva Goswami says. So in that way, knowledge about Krishna is confidential. Is Guyam. Guyam means confidential. Sarahasam tad angam cha. It can be understood in conjunction with devotional service. So because it's only hidden for the devotees, only the bhaktas, they get this knowledge. It's always Guyam. So that way Sukadeva Goswami explains that is given sometimes indirectly. Like for example, we found the same scenario in the Bhagavad Gita. That Lord Shri Krishna was there in the Bhagavad Gita, in front of everybody. He was sitting in front of Arjuna. But Duryodhana, when he's describing all the warriors, he's giving so many names. Bhurishrava, Des Bhurishrava, Jayadratha. He's giving list of names, Ashwatthama, giving names of his brothers, Dushasana. And he said also they are warriors like the son of Subhadra, the sons of Draupadi in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. He didn't mention Krishna. No, he didn't mention Krishna. But before that, he went to Dwaraka to petition Krishna to fight on his side. And Krishna said, no, I can come, you can take me, but I'm not going to fight. I'm not interested. But what you can do, you can take my army. Duryodhana took Krishna's army. He forgot. But Krishna was fighting through his devotees. Yeah, Krishna is a great strategist. So Duryodhana, when he is explaining his armies, describing the army of the Pandavas and his army, he is using two words, aparyaptam, paryaptam. You are Hindiwalas, you know what it means. Paryaptam, aparyaptam means immeasurable, great strength. He says to his teacher that our forces are immeasurable, aparyaptam, whereas, and then he says, also we are protected, perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma. That is chapter 1, text number 10. He uses these two words, paryaptam, aparyaptam. Whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhishma, is limited. So in language theory, whether it's Sanskrit or Hindi or any language, English, in language theory there is what is called a contronym. A contronym is a word that has multiple meanings. So when he says we are immeasurable, using the word apariyaptam, it can also mean that we are limited. It can mean limited, also it means unlimited. So these words are called contronyms. Just like in English, words that are contronyms are like, say, off, O-double-F. You can say, turn off the fan. But at the same time, you can say, the fan just went off, meaning that it started motion. Off can mean to reduce motion, but can mean to allow motion. See? It can mean the opposite. Another word like that in English also is sanction or to sanction. To sanction means to give authority to someone. But to sanction also means to punish or to boycott. We have imposed sanctions against America. It means we are boycotting anything American. You see? So in a similar way, you find these words in different languages, in all languages of the world. So Duryodhana is using these words, but he doesn't know that they mean that he was limited, because he did not recognize Krishna. He says, using the word apariyaptam, we are immeasurable, we are unlimited. But the Pandavas were unlimited because they had Krishna. So this was Krishna's strategy. I'm just trying to make you understand how Krishna is a greatest strategist. He said, I'm not going to fight, I'm just going to drive Arjuna. But he was directing everybody. Example, Jayadratha, Karna, Dronacharya, Bhishma, they were killed by Krishna using his strategy. So Arjuna was not very smart. Arjuna was not very, very smart. He was just good with Krishna. On his own, he would have not succeeded. All these people, Karna, Bhishma, they were far smarter than Arjuna. They were very steadfast in their vows. Arjuna was not. Example of Arjuna's weakness in Mahabharata. When Abhimanyu was killed by a combination of Jayadratha, Ashwatthama and other warriors, because Jayadratha had a boon on that day to defeat all the Pandavas except Arjuna, Arjuna thought, oh, he's the cause of my child's death. Tomorrow I'm going to kill him. And he announced it, that tomorrow before the sunset I will kill Jayadratha. That is stupidity. Why set time? So the Kauravas thought, oh, very good. This Arjuna is the main problem there, nobody else. So we just have to protect Jayadratha, and then Arjuna will kill himself. Why make such a vow? So the next day, Arjuna went for his vow. He was trying. He could not even see Jayadratha. What to speak of shooting him? He could not see him. But they put so many people in front of him. The demons are very smart. We have to be very smart to deal with them. So then the sun was setting. Sun was coming down, and then finally the sun set. And then the Kauravas started cheering, wow, we have defeated Arjuna. Now he has to cremate himself. And Arjuna didn't know what to do. He had to kill himself. And then Krishna, what he did? He made his Yogeshwara, master of all mystics. He made the sun rise again. While everyone was cheering, they thought, suddenly the sun is still out. They thought we made a mistake. the sun had not yet set. And Krishna said, Arjun, there is the sun, there is Jayadratha. What are you waiting for? And immediately Arjuna killed Jayadratha. You see? So Krishna is very strategic. So here also we can see that he became very heavy on the lap of Mother Yasoda, to the point where Mother Yasoda had to put him down, but he was preparing himself for this demon. He did not want the demon to come and attack him on the lap of Mother Yasoda. To protect his devotee, and then he wanted to go out and meet Trinarvata outside, which is exactly what happened. So after he was put down, he opened the doors, and then he went out, and then this Trinarvata started coming, and Krishna was waiting there. And he noticed, oh, there is Krishna, oh. And then he took him away. So and then up in the sky, again Krishna became very heavy. And then this Trinarvata had to come down and down and down. Actually, he was being beaten by Krishna even before he landed. So in that way, we can see the strategies of Krishna in the Bhagavatam, also in the Bhagavad Gita. So it's his plan here to perform these leelas so that he can remove all these demons. According to the Puranas and Itihatas, all these demons, like Chanura, Mustika, Agashura, Tirnarvata, they were employed by Kamsa as his bodyguards. They are said to have been like great pugilists. Pugilist means like wrestlers and boxers. So that's why Kamsa employed them to be around him. So then he was sending them to Vrindavan to allocate the whereabouts of Krishna, found him and kill him. And then one will be killed and then he will send another one. But they were just around him in Mathura. So how Krishna is killing these demons is pretending to be a child. But he is not a child. He is full of potencies. Bhagavan is omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent. So when we study, we see that Krishna is small, but he can make himself heavy, to the point where even a great demon like Trinarvata had to come down because of his heaviness. So in that way, even though the Lord appears to be an ordinary child performing normal childhood pastimes in Gokul, still he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, full of potencies. So by performing these pastimes, he is just proving that. So at Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna was not fighting, but he was strategizing how to kill each and every great warrior. Arjuna was just an instrument. So in a similar way here we can see how the Lord is making different strategies to kill these demons. So this Trinarvata, he was the third demon killed in Nanda Bhavan, Gokul. First came Putana. He was a she, a demoness. And then after that, Shakatasura, he was like a car. And Krishna killed him also because he could understand that he was just hiding inside the bullock cart. And then Vyoma, this Tirnavata was a third demon killed in Nanda Bhavan, Gokul. And then after that, Lord Krishna left Nanda Maharaj and all the cowherd boys, they moved to Kamyavan. And then in Kamyavan, the Lord killed Vyomasura. If you go there is Vyomasura Guf, the cave where Vyomasura used to steal the boys and hide them. There are so many places where the battle took place, and it's a very big area. Kamyavan, and then from Kamyavan, the Lord moved to Nandagram. There he continued also performing these leelas of killing different demons, like he killed Keshi at Keshi Ghat, very close to Krishna Param temple. And then in the area of Radhakund, he killed this demon who is a bull, Arishtasur. So when Mahaprabhu came in 1515 to Braj, that place was still called Arishtagram. That's how he discovered Radhakund. When he was told this place is called, the name of the area is Arishtagram, and he thought, oh, this is the place where Arishtasura was killed. Radhakund and Shamakunda must be nearby. That's how he discovered this place, Arishtagram. So Lord Krishna killed Arishtasura in that area. So in that way, these demons, they represent qualities like greed, attachment to mundane logic. This Dinavata, he represents those who are attached to mundane logic, the logicians. And Putana represents someone who's attached to material enjoyment and liberation. So by killing these demons, the Lord removes these qualities so that the Bhakti Lata Bij can grow. So this is the significance of this chapter. These 9 mythical leelas that the Lord is removing different impurities which become impediments on the path of bhakti, so that the kripa of devotion can grow very nicely. So when we understand why, or the significance or the symbolic reason why Krishna performed these pastimes, then it's very easy to follow them, because these demons, they just represent different anarthas. And the Lord performed these wonderful pastimes in Vrindavan. So in that way, these leelas are also important, 9 mythical leelas, because they can give us an understanding how it is important to clear the field. Just like a farmer, he plants his seed, but he has to keep on waiting for his crop to grow. So we do that by watering the seed through the transcendental water of the holy name. But at the same time, we fence the kripa by associating with devotees, and we protect it by clearing the weeds around the kripa. It's like when I was a new devotee, I was a new bhakta, I used to ask a lot of questions. One question I asked my time present, how do you remain brahmachari? He said, you just read Prabhupada's books. And I thought, as simple as that. But now, I appreciate what he said. Because when he told me, I had not read Prabhupada's books. I didn't understand that they have all the answers. After many years, I realized he was right. If you read Prabhupada's books carefully, you get all the answers. how to do what? Yes, you get all the answers about spiritual life. Even how to protect yourself while living in this world. It's just like when you go to war, it's not just about shooting arrows or shooting bullets, but you also have to take cover. You can't just stand out like this, like a tree. The enemies will see you and gun you down. So you learn also how to take cover, how to move from this point to that point. You don't just walk like this. You take cover. So you protect yourself. So in a similar way, the Lord is explaining, is giving us these pastimes so that we can learn how to protect ourselves from such demoniac forces, demoniac mentality. Yes. Sometimes you meet these demons also on the street. They will be challenging. So now you learn how to deal with them to protect yourself. Like for example, not maybe in India, you don't experience that when you go out. Because in India, if they see, especially in this color, they think, oh, Swamiji, but nice, wonderful. But in the West, they don't think that, oh, Swamiji, so nice you have come. They just see a strange person. Like I used to distribute books in UK, in England, for 2 years. Before I went to England, because I was born in a British colony, like India was a British colony. So I used to think the British people are very civilized. I never thought that they will have some criminal element. When I got there, I realized there are so many criminals, just like anywhere else. The first experience, I was trying to show someone the Bhagavad Gita. He took the Bhagavad Gita like this and he hit me very hard on my face. Bam! And I fell down with my book bag. This is England. There are so many Agasuras here also. And I was shocked. And then, the other time I was on Sankirtan, someone came to me. We have to pray for you in the name of Jesus. You are possessed by the demons. I was thinking, I said, sir, tell me, where is your church? Give me the address. I will come on Sunday. I really need Jesus. But not now. I'm in a hurry. And he said, okay, this is the address. I said, I will come on Sunday. I never went there. I continued selling books. Otherwise, if you argue with the demon and then you stay out there the whole day, he listening to their, prachara. So I said, okay, I'll come to your place. So that way, a devotee can stay afloat in this material world just by learning how to protect himself from such forces. They are very powerful. Can you imagine Tirunarvata, he came with wind, breaking the trees. He picked up the dust. All the ladies, including Maraya, saw that they couldn't see Krishna because their eyes were full of dust. When he was taking Krishna, no one saw because the dust was just covering everyone. So in that way, we can learn from these chapters how to protect ourselves from such demoniac forces by the grace of Sri Krishna Bhagavan. So I think I will stop here. This is 10 minutes to 9, and see if you have any questions. Yes, Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna Maharaji. Thank you very much for the nice class. you mentioned very interesting story of yours, how you saved yourself from the difficult situation. So when the difficulties come upon us, on the spur of moment, nothing strikes to us that what to do. So what should be the best advice at that moment?
When difficulties come, difficulties are part of living in this world. We will always have, that's what Krishna says, matras parshas tukondeya shitosha sukadukada agama apaino anityam dam titikshava bharata. That happiness and distress, they are just automatic in this world. It's just like we experience winter and summer seasons. And he says that to Arjuna, you should learn to tolerate them. When difficulties come, we learn how to tolerate them according to Lord Krishna. But to tolerate them also can mean differently according to our situations. To tolerate will mean that we just absorb the pain without crying out for help. No, it doesn't mean that. It just means that we don't run away from our mission because of the difficulties. So we take shelter of the Lord and His devotees. But we found a solution. If we don't have a solution, we can ask those who are senior to us. Yes. Yes. So that's why Krishna says one has to learn how to tolerate. It means you stick to your dharma even when there is trouble, but at the same time you look for the solution. So we need to find the solution from our superiors. There is no problem in this world that has no solution. It's just a matter of time. Also, it's a matter of different persons. But there is no problem in this world that cannot be solved because they are temporal. Krishna says they are nitya. If you have been practicing devotion service for 20 years, 30 years, you must have been through many challenges, which at some point you thought that they were like insurmountable mountains. And then somehow or other, they just went away. Huh? Yes. So tolerating means you stay in devotion service, you remain on the board of devotion service, even though there will be some turbulences caused by the waves. Huh? Yes. Just like I have a program called Amazon Safari in Brazil. So I travel by big boats to see the tribal people in the forest. So there are big rivers there. One of the rivers that I navigate is called the Rio Negro. It's 20 meters wide. Huh? It can cover the entire Mumbai. And inside that river also there are big rocks. Sometimes we hit the rock, not seeing them. So we tolerate. We adjust until we get to destination. Because we have a mission, we have a goal. So we do expect some problems on the way. So in a similar way, in devotional service, there will be some challenges because we are navigating this river called material existence. Sometimes, while we are navigating the river, there will be some pink dolphins. Sometimes they are rocks. Yes. So that is the understanding. We have to accept that the material world will always present some obstacles or challenges. Even when you go on the sea, you should expect some iceberg on the way. Turbulences. Even Prabhupada experienced that when he was going to America. Because that's the nature of the ocean. It's like that. Yeah. So in a similar way, this ocean of material existence also is like that. We'll have some turbulences. We should expect that. That is part of this world. But we can go to the captain. There are many captains that we can take shelter of in times of disturbances. Okay, thank you very much. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.